Good morning, colleagues.
Good morning, Doc.
We are going to start. I see we've got about 22 people who have joined so far. We're expecting a whole lot, but I think in the interest of time, we're going to start our session for today. My name is Ndwanano Jethro Godi. I'm from the Department of Finance, Risk Management and Banking, and I'm going to be the program director for today. We've got a jam-packed sessions for our students, for our colleagues. So I want to urge you all to just sit back and relax and engage. If you have seen the program, you will have realized that we're going to have a Q&A at about 10 past 11, and this is where all the questions, all the clarity-seeking items can be raised. But I want to encourage all participants, especially our students, to be able to use the chat platform. So if there is anything, there's any burning issues that you have to raise, please raise them using the chat platform. We've got a couple of speakers that are going to be coming through. But before we start with that, let me just acknowledge the presence of the college leadership, Dr. Maschaba, the acting executive dean, as well as our deputy executive dean, Professor Mulaudzi. Let me also acknowledge the portfolio heads in the deanery, as well as the school directors in the college, fellow CODs, champions in different portfolios in various departments, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, and our most important stakeholders, our students. Welcome to the 2024 first semester virtual student orientation under SEMS, under the theme Engage Scholarship. Without any further ado, I'm going to ask our very busy acting executive dean. I know she's got so many things that she needs to do today. So I want to just ask her to come and give us her blessings and to welcome all of you in this session. But just prior to that, executive dean, I want to just ask all the presenters that they need to keep their cameras on when they present, so that other stakeholders present here today, they're able to see them and then they can engage them. If it becomes an issue of quality of the transmission, just introduce yourself and keep your video for maybe a minute or two, and then you can switch it off. Thank you so much, colleagues. Please sit back and relax, and then over to you, Dr. Maschaba, Acting Executive Dean. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am Dr. Masichaba. I'm the Acting Executive Dean in the College of Economic and Management Sciences. A very welcome to this first semester, our first semester visual student orientation. I've been meaning to send out an introductory letter or a welcome letter to the students, but we have been waiting for everyone to register, and we hope we have now reached the end of our registration period. I know that a lot of students have been asking about their allowances, and the truth is that allowances cannot be paid if we have not finished with registrations, because we need to tell the NSFAS how many students are registered. But we welcome you into our college, which is one of the biggest ones. Unisa is continuing to celebrate 150 years up to the end of June this year, which is our first semester. And it is therefore important that we celebrate this 150 years and beyond with you. One of the biggest things we would like to encourage you to do is to write your assignments. If you are not on the continuous assessment program and you have assignments, do not look down on them. That year mark is very important, and we urge you to write all your assignments, whether it's continuous assessment or not. We are looking forward to having you sit for the May-June examinations with your maximum marks, and therefore it is important that you write those assignments. Ladies and gentlemen, we will not be spending a lot of time. I will not take the full 10 minutes, but mine is to welcome you. Our college is one of the most responsive, and we urge you, if you do not have any responses from us, to call on us to give you the necessary support. We have realized that we do not even have an SRC representative from this college, and we ask you to participate in student activities such as representation and any other, so that you must have a full student experience in the college. Welcome to the College of Economic and Management Sciences. We would like to have you not only in this first semester, not only in the second semester or this year, but that you become a lifelong learner in our college up to the end. If you are coming in on an honors level, we would like you to do a master's with us. And if you are in for a higher certificate, please continue with us up to the very end. We have programs starting from higher certificate up to PhD level, and we welcome you into our space. Welcome to this day. It is a day full of activities. It is a day full of knowledge, and I'm glad that it is recorded and live. Me Mabaso, if you are online, thank you very much for joining us. And thank you very much, Program Director and all the organizers. Welcome to Unisa, the University of the Land, the university that gives access to those who wouldn't have, and we welcome you. Thank you, Dr. Godi.
Thank you so much, Executive Dean. We really appreciate your time. We know you are very busy, and you may be excused, but please, if you do find time in between, please do come back and check on us on how we're doing. Thank you so much. Please allow me to address all of you as colleagues. Colleagues will then be moving into our next item, which is the purpose of the event. I believe that the head of tuition and learner support, Prof. Lidimo, is not here, but someone from her office will be giving the presentation on behalf of that office, and I believe that will be Mr. Martin Sadiki. Please come through and share your presentation. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Let me try the video camera thing. Let's see if it will work. Yeah, that's me. I'll keep it off. So, good morning. Let me also use the word colleagues. Good morning. And I've taken notes of the welcome done by the Executive Dean, Dr. Maschawa. Thank you, Dr. Maschawa, for welcoming our students and also welcoming us. And thank you, Dr. Godi, the Program Director. So, the tuition head, Professor Lidimo, she has asked me to represent her in the office of tuition and learner support, as she is currently in other engagements in the institutions that were organized prior to this student orientation. And obviously we are recording these visual student orientation on Teams and also on YouTube. So we will also make it available to our students who might be on en route to Moria and other holiday destination for Easter holidays. So we just want to encourage our students that, as the executive dean has said, that those assignments then becomes very important for our students to do and complete and submit. And we've also brought different stakeholders as well that would speak on different areas of needs of our students. And you would be able to gather a lot of information and also ask questions. And it will also be useful for future references in terms of the recording for our students. So I would like to encourage our students to claim their My Unisa login details so that they are able to have that access to the entire university system and be able to get their study material and be able to get their assignments as well on My Unisa. And as I always say, one of the biggest issues that we have within the university during exams, during assessments or assignment stages is the buying of assessment material from downtown colleges, and also asking other fellow students or other fellow friends or service provider who are providing assessments at a fee or at a cost. And I would like to discourage our students from making any purchase because that is academic dishonesty, and academic dishonesty can never be rewarded. So please do refrain from buying assessments from downtown, from online. The message that I have for you, our students, is you embark on academic year 2024 is that a little progress each day adds up to big results. And that is a true definition of engaged scholarship that is honest, and you stay away from copying or any buying of the assessments. That is crime, and it's an academic crime, and it's academic dishonesty. So we have different proctoring tools during exams in the form of those who are in honors level, in the forms of Turnitin, Invigilator app, and Moodle proctoring that looks into your work, if your work is your work and nobody wrote on your behalf. And when it comes to examination, also do not pay fellow students or fellow service providers to write on your behalf, and you will be flagged. And do read all the materials that you receive from your lecturers that is provided online. We have all our materials online. So as the executive dean has welcomed you to CAMS for this for this academic year 2024. I also would like to say that, again, I repeat, a little progress each day adds up to big results. Thank you, Program Director.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sadiki, for representing the Tuition and Learner Support Office. We really appreciate it. Our colleagues will be moving to our next item. The next theme will focus on academic student support services. Like I've said, please, if you've got queries, use the chat platform. We are monitoring that. And just also want to send apologies from Ms. Mabaso, our sign language interpreter. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it due to a family emergency. And we'd like to apologize to all our students and the other colleagues who are relying on this service. Please do bear with us. Thank you so much. We'll move on to the next item, which will be presented by Mr. Tembo, and we'll be focusing on the SAM's qualification offerings. Mr. Shika Tembo, over to you.
Good morning, colleagues. That's who I am, and I will be concentrating on the CAMS offerings. I will then switch off my camera so that I can go back to the presentation. Thanks. Let me try to share my presentation with you. Could Marabi, could I share the presentation, please, if I may?
Yes, you have sharing rights, Mr. Tembo.
Okay. Can you see my presentation now?
Not yet.
Is it visible now?
Not yet, Mr. Tembo. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's visible now.
It's visible now. Let me quickly enlarge it. Okay. All right. I would not introduce the college as such. Our colleagues have done that already. The introduction of the college, I'll just go straight to second page, which we have been, the dean is spoken about us. We are the third largest college in the University of South Africa, and our mission is to be the leading college and recognized for its excellence in relevant learning, teaching, and research aimed at transforming society through critical and engaged and applied scholarship. My colleague also touched on the scholarship part, and that's who we are and the mission, the vision of the college. And these are the qualifications which the dean referred to. We start from higher certificates. People who normally study the higher certificate in our college are those who would not have met, those who would not have met, those who would not have met the bachelor's admission requirement. If you don't have your maths and your English, or maybe either you may have passed mathematics at metric and you do not have the English requirement, then you'll be required to do one of the certificates listed below. And upon completing the certificates, which all of them have got about 10 modules, then you can articulate to a degree of your choice. However, sometimes by virtue of having completed a higher certificate does not necessarily mean that you would go to do your degree, because we also have to cater for other students who would have passed matric with bachelor's and others who would have passed. However, the certificate makes you or allow you to articulate to the bachelor's degree. And it's all dependent on the number of spaces which we have. Hence, I'm saying that passing your certificate does not necessarily mean that you'd have a space. And depending on the demand of the particular qualification at that particular juncture, then you might not have a chance to study. Maybe you might be admitted in the following year. And we also have diplomas. You know, at matric, most of the people do pass, and therefore they have a diploma. They pass with a diploma admission to a qualification in the College of Economic Management and Sciences. And you may do the diploma straight from matric, and you may also apply to do a diploma if you have done your higher certificate. That would also allow you to do your higher your diploma. You may, after completing a 3-year diploma, you may and have passed your 3rd year majors with an average of 60% and above. Then you'll be allowed to apply for any advanced diploma in the College of Economic Management and Sciences. We have degrees in the college. If you pass your matric with a bachelor's, then it does not necessarily mean that you would be given a space to do a degree. It all depends on the specific requirement of the college as to whether you have met the requirements. If you had met the requirements, then you would be admitted to one of the degrees. And some of our degrees do not have a maths requirement. For instance, the Bachelor of Commerce in Tourism, the only requirement there would be your statutory requirement, which is a matric, and the language of teaching and learning that you'll be required to fulfill. And after having passed your degree, and if you want to do your honors degree, you would be required to pass with an average of 60% and above, so that you can be admitted to an honors degree. Same applies with your masters, and these are just the qualifications which the college have. If you go to our website, you'd see all the qualifications that the college offer. So you need not to worry about the presentation as to where would you get the qualifications. As I indicated prior, that the admission requirements for all qualifications consist of a statutory requirement, meaning that your matric passing with the bachelor, it qualifies you to apply for a degree. If you have passed with the higher certificate, then you would be required to apply for a higher certificate, and then you go through all the steps in the college so that you can go to a higher degree. And I indicated before that a language requirement and possibly mathematics, because most of the our qualifications, there is a mathematical element. There is for instance, if you do an BCom in economics, you would be required to calculate, and most of the degrees you're required to calculate. So you need to have your maths, not maths lit, your mathematics, pure mathematics, because accounting as well, you also need to do some calculations. And there are degrees like there are modules in risk and banking. There's a lot of calculations that you need to do, hence the requirement of mathematics. As you register for in the College of Economic Management and Sciences, we provide support. We've got a section dedicated to addressing the queries of the students, but college-specific queries are not queries which are related to other colleges. The queries which are related to our college, we would then get response. We've got a team of people there who work tirelessly to assist you in your student journey so that it's joyful and wonderful, so that you can complete. And their address or contact number or contact email address is there, kemsqueries@unisa.ac.za, along with other, and we also have other departmental mailbox that can be accessed on my modules pages or tutor letters. Lecturers are there to assist you anytime, but we also have the services of e-tutors who can assist you anytime if you want assistance regarding your academic queries. Upon registration, you are allocated a tutor who is dedicated to your module, and therefore they would assist you if you need extra assistance and you want to speak to a lecturer. You can either make an appointment with the lecturer of a specific module, and therefore you can then discuss what you need to assistance with. And they are always available for you. And you should also remember that the College of Economic Management and Sciences, apart from the student orientation, which would be having, would be also embarking on the university student orientation. Maybe some of you, we might meet in different regions. And if you have any questions relating to the college, would assist to help. And if the queries we can't resolve, then we will escalate them to different departments who would assist you with with your queries. And the online exam support, there is also an address, Mr. Sadiki, who opened for us, is responsible for all the online exam queries. He's got a team of people who would assist you if you want assistance regarding examinations, and they are at your disposal anytime. So before you go to exams, I would suggest you seek the assistant, because we have challenges when people go to the exam and want to write exams. Some people would tell you we cannot download the exam papers. Some would have challenges with network, but Mr. Sadiki and the team would are really available to assist you. As I indicated, I said we have got an online tutors, and if you make use of them, they would assist you with your studies. Tutors are people who have studied in your field and they have completed in your field, and you should not doubt them. they are qualified to do this. And should you not find joy in the use of tutors, lecturers are there over and above the tutor service which we provide. And examination preparations are scheduled prior to your exams. Hence, I have been emphasizing the fact that you should be in contact with Mr. Sadiki, and the email address is there so that the queries that are relating to examinations can be resolved before we go to the examination. Have fun on your academic venture with us, and I hope your studies go well in 2024. If you have any queries or any questions that need our attention, the team is there to assist. Thank you for listening, and good luck with your assignments and exams. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tembo. We really appreciate your detailed presentation. I think in the interest of time, we'll move on to the next one, which is academic integrity. And this will be presented by Ms. Khadebe. Over to you. Please greet the house and open your camera so that our colleagues can see you. You are free to close it after your introduction. Thank you so much.
Good luck with your...
Ms. Khadebe?
Mr. Tembo, can you please unshare your screen?
I've stopped sharing.
Is Ms. Khadebe ready to present? Okay, colleagues, I think
Chair, I just allow Ms. Khadebe will just present
I'm
now.
here now. My apology. I couldn't see my mic, Dr. Godi.
All right, no, it's fine. It's fine. Over to you, Ms. Khadebe.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Program Director. Good morning to our students, the new ones from the box. We welcome you, and I believe that the Dean of the College has already welcomed you, as well as our teaching and learning prof. We definitely welcome you. Mine is just to emphasize the issue of academic integrity. This we take very serious as a college. As you have enrolled at Unisa, we believe that you need to own your work. You need to love what you are doing. We know that there's a lot that's going on in terms of the AI, that is the artificial intelligence. You know, when you get the assignment, the first thing that you think about is, let me just put it on the chat GPT so that it can give me the answers and all that. At the end of the day, is that your work? It is not your work. Therefore, you need to refrain from relying on the artificial intelligence. When it comes to cheating, we take zero tolerance as a college. That is why Mr. Sadiki indicated that there are tools that we use in order to monitor that as the college. We have the Turnitin that is done in the honors level, but then with all other levels, we have also our proctoring tool that we call the Invigilator app. This app will assist us in minimizing the use of all the methods of dishonesty. So if you are studying with us, please make it a point that you take your studies very seriously, you make use of your work, you own your work. We really, really appreciate you taking pride in your work. It won't assist you to copy everything and pass the assignments. At the end of the day, you know nothing about that particular module. It will be a sad story if you apply for the job and they employ you. At the end of the day, you can't even express yourself. You can't even implement the knowledge that you've gathered here because you've copied. And we take serious steps in terms of the students who are copying, because once your thing, once your script is flagged, then it means that it will have to go through a rigorous process of checking as to how did you do the copying, and it also jeopardizes your chances of finishing on time, because now there will be a disciplinary hearing at the end of the day. We've got our student disciplinary unit in the college, which takes the work serious to check as to what did you do. And we also have we also follow the process of giving you a particular sentence here to say that you might not you might not be given the opportunity to continue with your studies maybe for a year, meaning that you might face a suspension, which I believe that no one wants to experience such a thing. Therefore, you need to definitely make it a point that whenever you receive your tutorial letters, whenever you receive the communication from your lecturers, read especially the part which speaks about academic dishonesty, because you don't want to see yourself getting delayed in your studies due to the fact that you didn't do well, or maybe you copied and therefore you had to go through the process of disciplinary, and that maybe you also got suspended. I know that it's easy. People will be telling you that studying at Unisa is a nice thing because it's an online learning institution, meaning that you can also ask someone to do the work for you. We can pick it up. Our system has been designed in a nice way that it can pick up the work that is not yours. Therefore, you need to ensure that you own your work. Take pride in your work. Refrain from copying. That's all I can say to you, to say that make every effort to understand your work, make every effort to own it, let it represent you, because you'll be jeopardizing yourself if you are busy doing what? Making use of artificial intelligence excessively. That is my submission to you, and all of the best. You are at the right place. You will get all the help that you need. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Godi.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kadebe. We really appreciate it, your contribution. And I hope the students will take your advice and they will refrain from copying. Before we move to the next one, I just want to also acknowledge and welcome our colleagues who are attending through our YouTube platform. Welcome to all of you. And let me encourage you once again that please put all your questions in the chat platforms. We will attend to them. We will have a Q&A at about 11 or just after 11, so that if there are other issues that you want to raise, you can raise them. But please keep your questions in the chat platform for now. Moving right along, we'll be moving into our next presenter, and Mr. Piri will focus on the learning management system. Over to you, Mr. Piri.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Raymond Piri. I come from my modules staff support, which / my Unisa administration. So we deal with the learning management system called my Unisa. So I'm gonna share a bit about it. I'm gonna switch off my camera share. I'm looking for it. Okay, I found it. Just gonna switch it on. Please advise if you can see it. As I said, my name is Raymond Piri. I'm gonna touch on the learning management system. So I'm gonna start talking about my Unisa. My Unisa is an official online teaching, learning, research, collaboration, and administrative portal. The My Unisa service divided into two functionalities or two portals, which is going to be My Modules and My Admin. So my modules deal with support teaching and learning functions, and My Admin focuses on a wide range of academic and student administrative functions. What is My Life? My Life is a student official Unisa email and the official account for all communication with Unisa. As I said, My Modules is an official online teaching and learning environment where students will conduct their online learning, participate in online activities, discussion forums, and that's where they're going to be submitting their assignments. Claiming My Unisa login. Who can claim My Unisa and My Life? It's new registered students, returning students who have never claimed My Unisa and My Life. Students are advised to claim My Unisa login as soon as they finalize their registration, and they can visit our official website, which is unisa.ac.za, and select the link Claim Unisa Login and follow the steps. A password will be sent to the students within 24 hours. On the final step, a page will display your My Life email address and your My Life and My Unisa password. Once you successfully logged in and got your login details, you're going to see 3 tabs. It's going to be SBL, it's going to be My Modules, it's going to be My Admin. And you have to select the appropriate tab. SBL stands for the Graduate School of Business Leadership, and that tab's only for SBL students. What we want to focus on is My Modules and My Admin. So My Modules tab, it's going to provide you access to the learning management system with all the modules, information, and assessments. And the tab for My Admin is where you're going to find academic records, exam results, and financial details, etc. When you get to My Modules landing page, after you've logged in, you're going to get your modules under the drop-down list. You'll be redirected to the landing page, and that's where you're going to get the welcome message for that particular modules and all the activities and the resource folders. These are the activities, which is it's a chat session, discussion forums, assessment. That's where you're going to find it. And also videos or website links. And it's static, like you can merely look or read rather than participate. We got also these features. We got also communication tools, got also assessments, also grading and marking happens here. We got course development and delivery, got course administration. And I'm not gonna go through all the tools because this might take over 20 minutes. So these are the communication tools that we have. We have announcement, we have the calendar, and we have the chat activities. Announcement, that's where your lecture is going to post announcement about the course or a general news, and it's a one-way communication. Student cannot reply on the announcements, and you'll receive an email in your My Life email account once a lecture posts an announcement. And also have the calendar or a scheduler. That's where you're going to see your assessment deadlines and events related to that module. We also have the chat activity that allows course participants to have synchronous real-time discussion with the course participants. Another communication tool that we have is the forum. This allows students and lecturers to exchange ideas by posting comments as part of a thread. Student can access the forum by clicking the icon on the course page, and depending on the forum type selected, you'll see a button to start a new discussion topic. Okay, we also have the messaging. The messaging is in Moodle refers to using the instant messaging feature. Lecturers can communicate privately with their students. Clicking on the message icon on the top right will show you a list of recent chats. We have an activity called assessments. This is where you're gonna be slash assignment. This is where you're gonna be posting or submitting your assignments. You click the link and add submission to submit a written assignment. Student may be able to return to their work and redraft it, or they might have to click a submit button to send in the final version of their assignment. Once a student click on a submission statement, they declare that this is their final submission and they won't be able to resubmit if there's more one attempt. Student may submit as individuals or as in groups. You also have another type of assessment, which we call it a quiz. A quiz is a very powerful activity that can meet many teaching needs, from simple multiple choice knowledge tests to self-assessment with detailed feedback. Student will attempt the quiz online and a time limit may be added to the quiz for completion. In order to finish the quiz and potentially see their score or grade, student must click submit all and finish when they reach the summary of attempted page. We also have the forum, which is another type of assessment. Student can access the forum by clicking the icon on the course page, and depending on the forum type, they will see a button to add a new discussion topic. The lecturer can choose to grade or rate forum posts. It's also possible to give student permission to rate each other's posts. We have another function, which is the grade book. On all the grades for each student in a course can be found in this grade book. Once a student is in the module, you click on the grades, there's it, and that's where you're going to see grades for each and every assessment that you took. Also have additional resources. That's where your lecturer can put in files to download. Some lectures, they put learning material in there, or study guides. That's where the student can download those files as a folder or separately. Also have lessons. Lessons activity allows lecturers to create branching exercises where students are presented with content, and then depending on their responses are directed to specific pages. The content may be text or multimedia. We have also the official study material. This is only for viewing your study material. We also have prescribed material. This is for this module can be displayed in this folder depending on the lecturer's settings. We also have FAQs, frequently asked questions. Lecturers may have uploaded general question and answers in this folder. You also gonna see logs, but this is only accessible to the lecture. This is how your dashboard is gonna look like. Let me just go back a bit. Then that's where you're gonna have your landing page, and that's where all your modules will be. We'll also have the welcome message that will be set up by the lecturer. The course administration functions, you'll see you have your own profile, and which can be reached on the menu top right, and then clicking profile. The page contains links to further pages allowing the user to edit their profile, view their forum or blog post, check any reports that they have access to. When we touch on student support, a student can contact the toll-free number. That's all the student queries. For My Life and My Unisa, that's the email that you can contact. For student admission and registration, that's the email that you can contact. And also you can get this information on our website. And that number that's put there, it's SCSC, that's the Unisa call center for students. Thank you, Chair. I tried to be as fast as I can.
You are actually on time. So thank you so much for that, Mr. Piri. I hope we are all learning colleagues, and the presentations will be available to revisit at a later stage. We'll move on now to module support, and this will be presented by Ms. S. Wanik. Over to you.
Good morning. Let me just put my slides in presentation mode. One moment, please.
Not a problem.
Sorry, I seem to have a technical difficulty at the moment. Let me just see. Okay, there we go. Can you see my slide?
Yes, we can.
Okay, let me just switch on my camera. Good morning. Can you see me? So my name is Saret Warnig. I'll just briefly keep on my camera so that you can see who you are actually talking to. Welcome to Unisa. I hope that you're going to enjoy the semester, and I hope it's going to be a fruitful semester for you. So my presentation will be very short and sweet, and I'm an academic in the Department of Human Resource Management, and I will also be touching on some of the matters that some of my colleagues have already alluded to, but I would actually want to just give you some guidance from an academic perspective to tell you and share with you how we support you in an academic capacity to be successful with your studies. So the first important aspect that you need to know is once you've registered, you must please access your module sites on My Modules. And then it's important for every module to orientate yourself in detail because every lecturer sets up their module site in a specific manner. They will provide you with guidance on how to navigate the site. Please go and read the welcome message, read the orientation to the module. That could be in the form of a start year section or lesson 0, or they will communicate that to you in the welcome message. Then it's also important to go and read your tutorial letter 101. Remember, for most modules, you won't get these in the mail, so you won't receive a printed copy. You need to access your module site, and you must make sure that you go and download that tutorial letter. And it's also good practice to do that so that you have access to that during times when the system is perhaps under maintenance, or maybe when you want to access it offline. Then you need to also check whether your module makes use of a prescribed book, a recommended book, or e-reserves. There are some cases where only a study guide is provided, but you'll have to determine exactly how this module works and what mechanisms will be used in terms of teaching and learning. Then it's also important to take note how communication works in the module, and the lecturers will communicate that also in the tutorial letters and on the welcome message. You will also find a suggested study plan for the specific module, and then we advise that you go and do your own planning. Go and diarize the assessment due dates for each module and then plan ahead. We all have different responsibilities. You might be working, you might have a family to juggle, you might have other responsibilities. So go and think about that, think about your work commitments and everything else, and then go and plan your studies and see how many lessons or learning units you need to work through, how many assessments, what the due dates are, and plan accordingly. And then you will also find, for most departments, a general tutorial letter. Those will be uploaded also on the module site, usually under additional resources. And then one thing that I can't stress enough, please remember that your My Module site is your main source of to find module-related information, not other platforms such as Telegram or WhatsApp groups that you form with other students. So whenever you need information about a module, please go to your specific module site and go and find the information there. Now, Mr. Piri already alluded to my Unisa. I'm not going to spend time on that. I just want to give you a brief overview. So every module site could look different. And you'll see this example that I've included here. It's basically divided into 3 columns, the way that this one has been laid out. Your lecturer could have chosen a different layout. But if you look in the middle, you'll see in the red box, that's where the welcome message is. It's important that you go and read that, and they often update these welcome messages, so go and revisit that during the semester as well. Then towards the left, you might find some of the resources and tools that's used in the module. You can also access those when you scroll down below the welcome message. You'll find those resources, and towards the right, you'll find the calendar or latest announcements or whatever blocks have been activated on your specific module site. So how do academics communicate with students, and how do we provide support? So firstly, the welcome message. Then Mr. Piri also alluded to the announcements. I can't stress this enough. Read the announcement that your lecturers post. It's there for a specific reason. Read those announcements, follow those instructions. If there are hyperlinks included in these announcements, please take the trouble of reading those in detail. If you do that, you will be well informed and you should be well on your way to have all the information that you need to be able to be successful in your module. Then we've also touched already on discussion forums. There could even be an inquiries to the lecturer discussion forum. It will depend on how the module site has been set up, and that could be one mechanism that you can also communicate with your lecturers. You will find frequently asked questions on the module site. Before you look for answers to questions, it would be worthwhile to go and have a look at those frequently asked questions. There might also be frequently asked questions in your tutorial letters or in the departmental tutorial letter. Then the messaging function that Mr. Perry also mentioned. Another mechanism is tutorial letters. Remember, most of those will only be available online. There might be exceptions for some modules where you might still receive those in print, but rather access them from Unisa, and again, get into the habit of downloading them so that you have access to that even during times when the system is not available. And then another one, email. Remember, we communicate via your MyLife email, and you may only communicate with Unisa using that email address, not a personal or a Gmail or a work email address. And then another tip, also read your MyLife emails regularly. That is an important way for us to communicate with the students. So how does teaching and learning take place? On each module site, you'll find detailed lessons or learning units. As I said already, there might be exceptions where there might be a study guide, but go and have a look at those lessons or learning units. Those are written together with, if you have a prescribed book or recommended book or e-reserves, those two go hand in hand. So you need to use your lessons. They will take you through the chapters in the prescribed or recommended books or the e-reserves, and those will help you to master the learning outcomes for each lesson. And that's ultimately what you are aiming for. Then what you will also be required to do is to submit our quality assured and moderated assessments. We set these, and we normally provide information and guidelines, and those are thorough guidelines. Included in those guidelines will also be information about academic integrity, like Ms. Gadebe said earlier. Please follow all the instructions carefully. The assessments are made available gradually during the semester, so don't expect to see all the assessments at the beginning of the semester. You can maybe also follow your suggested study plan to get an idea when you can expect these. Check also the assessment strategy for each module. That's really important. So in other words, what do we mean with that? Are you expected to submit assessments throughout the semester at a regular interval, or are you going to submit assessments and write an online exam at the end of the semester? It's important that you know what the strategy is for each semester, and the lecturer for each module will communicate that to you. And then I can't stress this enough. Please ensure when you do submit written assessments that you submit your own original work. Ms. Gadebe already alluded to that. So you need to go through the work, then formulate your answers, properly reference in text and also in the reference list, and make sure that your own voice is visible in your submissions. Then look at the feedback on the assessments. It could be in tutorial letters or online. For exams, no feedback is provided. And for written assessments, what you can also do is to look at the comments that the assessors include in your marked assessment files. We refer to those as annotated assessment files or annotated PDFs. And also look at the feedback tutorial letters. If, for example, you're not in a position where you can submit, if you've got alternative assessment or choices between different assessments, so in other words, elective assessments, and you don't have the capacity to submit one of them, please go and attempt that assessment in your own time, and then go and compare your answers to the feedback tutorial letters so that you can mark it yourself and gauge whether you are on track or not. Then there might also be self-assessments, activities, discussion forums, and maybe other tools and mechanisms that the lecturer might use. Please make use of that fully and participate and engage with that. And then lecturers can also make recordings available of the content, and they can also schedule online sessions or lessons. Look out for announcements or other communication in that regard. And if you can attend that, please do so. We also realize that you might have other commitments. So in most instances, those are also recorded and made available to the students, but access that wonderful resource at your disposal. Then you can also look at the additional resources on the module site. And as my colleagues have already said, for some modules, there are also tutors appointed. Make use of that and take advantage when that is the case. So what can you do to enhance your learning experience? Please read all the communication that not only the lecturers, but Unisa also sends to you or makes available, and read that regularly. Work at a steady pace and do active learning. Don't only focus on your assessments. It's really important that you focus on mastering the learning outcomes and that you improve your skills. One of the skills is, for example, proper referencing, but don't only work towards assessments. Why do you want to study? In the end, you want to master skills. You want to be able to do a specific job. So if you only focus on assessments, you're not going to master those skills. Adhere to the due dates and compare your answers to the guidelines that we provide after marking and after we've released that. And then use the mechanisms that the lecturer communicates to you to reach out when you need assistance. Make a list maybe. I've often seen that students contact me, and then while we may be busy talking on Teams, they forget what they wanted to ask. So make a list of all the specific questions that you want to ask before you reach out. And then it's really important that you familiarize yourself with all the Unisa student policies and rules, and make sure that you adhere to that and that you uphold academic integrity at all times. Refrain from, for example, using ChatGPT or other artificial intelligence tools. Write in your own voice and your own assessments. And then extremely important in our situation in South Africa, please plan ahead. Make sure that you plan for eventualities such as load shedding as well. Then I'm not going to spend time on contacting Unisa. My colleagues have already done that. But when you do have a query, determine, is it a module content related inquiry, or is it something that you need help from the support departments? And then make sure that you direct your query to the correct department. Lecturers cannot, for example, help with finance related matters, and the people at finance cannot help with module content related matters. Then lastly, what I also want to say is, please refer to all the Unisa services and support offered. There's a lot of support offered by Unisa, and you'll hear later on during the morning, some of the colleagues will share more. There's the library, there's ArcSuite, there's the first year experience, there's a MOOC that you can complete to help you to master My Unisa and how to properly use that. There's the Study at Unisa website, there's various library guides. And then also for every student registered at Unisa, you have free access to Microsoft Office software, and Unisa also offers free training on that from time to time. You can have a look at the calendar at the bottom of the My Unisa page. They indicate those training sessions there. Then there's also an online backup facility where you can back up your documents. That's part of the Office software that Unisa makes available. And then lastly, Unisa also provides data to the students, and I want to urge you, use those, all the resources and the data that Unisa provides, and use that for studying purposes and not for other purposes, because it will enable you to be successful. And then lastly, I would like to say, all the best with your journey. If you stay engaged, if you do active learning, and if you participate and make the work your own, I'm sure that you will be successful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wanik. We really appreciate the presentation. Colleagues, please be mindful that I've asked all the speakers to stick to the time. So as they rush through the program, they need to cover everything, but feel free to access this at a later stage. Moving right along, the next item is integrated e-tutor model. This will be presented by Ms. Dinkosi as well as Mr. Tilo. Over to you.
Thanks, Program Director. Good morning, colleagues. and good morning to our students. That's me on the camera. Okay. I think Mr. Piri just told us about my life, about my Unisa and my module. So my presentation, program director, I'm just going to do the practicality of it. As we know that Unisa, we're giving support to our students. First, our students, they have a direct contact with our lecturers. Second, we also provide the support of face-to-face e-tutors. The third one, we also have e-tutors. So e-tutors, we find them on my Unisa platform. So our student must know that they are e-tutors when they go to my Unisa. So now what I'm going to do a presentation and also go to my Unisa so that our student can see where they can find their e-tutors. So our e-tutors are professional people who are appointed with the minimum requirement of masters with different qualifications. And then others, of course, they have the PhD. So our students, they must not think that we are just having only e-tutors who are not qualifying. So our e-tutors work from the different institutions, others work for government, others work for other universities. So what I'm going to do now, program director, is just to go through my Unisa, just to show our students how can they access these e-tutors. And these e-tutors that we are paying them, so we're encouraging our students to use our e-tutors. So what we are going to do, Mr. Piri spoke about how to access the tools on my Unisa, and also Ms. Suret spoke about how to access other tools on the main site and then study materials and so on. So I'm going to pick one of the modules so that all of us, we can see here, when we're talking about the e-tutor site, what are we talking about? If you can see here, there's a module code that is HRM 3703. This 24 is 2024. Then S1 is for semester 1. And then 1E is the e-tutor. Because most
Sorry,
of the time,
Tulu, can you share your screen?
Most of the time, okay. Sorry about that. Let me just quickly share the screen. Thank you, Suret.
You're also welcome to close your video now, Mr. Tsilo, for ease of transmission.
Okay, so now, if you go and check, as I was saying, HRM 3703, and then we have 24 is 2024, S1 is for semester 1, and then 1E, then you must know that you are group 2 to an e-tutor. Because what we have learned is that most of the students, they think that this E is for English. It's not for an English module. It shows that you are grouped with an e-tutor. After you are grouped with an e-tutor, you are going to get the notification. Okay, let's open this site and see. Okay. Then here we have an e-tutor, Ms. Tina Tubet. Ms. Tina Tubet, just to welcome, posted the welcoming message. If you can see here, just say, welcome to the module HRM 3703. And also, she's indicating her availability online. So every time when you go to my Unisa, on Mondays from 6 to 8, she will be online. And on Thursday from 8 to 10, she will be online. So when you come here, you are also going to interact with other fellow students. So now we're encouraging you to participate, because remember what I said. I said that these people were paying them. So now we're encouraging our students to use them. So we have seen the announcement like she's explaining here, the time, her schedule, and then we go to the discussion forums. We click the discussion forums there. The system will go. Now, when we come down here, you can see that she posted something. And then you can open it. When you open it, you can see here, and that she typed the message. And the system allows you as the student to respond to any message. If you go here, if you want to reply, the system allows you to reply. And then after replying, of course, other students, fellow students, they will see what you have posted. So now, every time when you post, you will type whatever that you want to type and then post to forum. So it will go to all your fellow students, and also the e-tutor, and also the lecturer will get that notification. So we're encouraging you to participate, because this system, it allows you to reply, it allows you to discuss with other fellow students. If you have a question, you can post it here, and then you can leave it. When the e-tutor comes here, you'll find your question, and then they will answer it. So we're encouraging you, please participate. Please utilize our e-tutors. And then when you are done, you can also go back maybe after 8, like the time that she indicated. We know that also our students, they are working. So after, we know that the time, the schedule is indicated there. You just come and then you log in, you go in and participate. So as the college and the university, we're saying that we're giving support to all our students. If you have any questions, you can go to the nearest Unisa region and then go to computer lab where they can assist you. Then you can claim your My Life email address, and then they can assist you to log in, and then you can go and interact with an e-tutor. And then, yes, so we are saying that we are giving all the support that you need so that you don't fail, and then all the best from my side. Thank you, Program Director.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tsilo. Colleagues, please don't forget to keep your questions coming on all the chat platforms. Moving right along, we'll now move to the segment that focuses on the administrative student support services. And the first presenter will be Ms. T. Moiler, focusing on student finances. Over to you.
Dr. Godi, Ms. Dean Kosi was supposed to come next after Mr. Tsilo, but we can allow Memwila to come in now.
Oh, okay, all right. Let's allow Ms. Moyle, and then we'll go back to Ms. Nkosi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, colleagues. I'm with my colleagues from Student Debtors. They will be assisting in answering all the questions from the chat box. So I'll be sharing my screen. Please advise if you can see my screen on your side.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So these are the contents that we'll be covering as student debtors for our presentation, which is POPIA, acknowledgement of debt, quotation and pro forma invoices, payments, method and references, payment forfeited, cancellation date, financial suspension and reinstatement, account flags, historic debt, and handed over debt. So, and policies and rules for Unisa. So understanding the Protection of Personal Information Act at Unisa, personal information like academic record, exam results, and etc. cannot be given to the third parties. Eligibility of signing the admission and registration forms must be older than 18 years old, and under 18 are fully capable of acting independently without assistance from parents or legal guardians. I'm just going to summarize that, like the whole thing, because otherwise if I can read the whole thing, it will take time. So if your constitutional right to privacy is violated, can be reported to the below directorate, and the emails are given below. You cannot share your personal information without which includes my Unisa login is prohibited. All forms of communication to the university should be done via My Life email account. You cannot use your private email. So as soon as you are registered, fully registered with the university, you need to claim your My Life login or My Unisa. Acknowledgement of debt. We allow students to register without paying the minimum registration fee subjected to stipulated conditions. Provided the student has signed the AUD forms, historic debt must be settled. Student is currently temporarily registered, has a proof of income. It can be a payslip or bank statement or proof of income from the third party, and needs to be obtained from the consent for the university to verify the income. So a student who wishes to apply again for previous AUD, the previous one must be honored by settling the historic debt to be considered for the current one. AUD is limited to South African students, with an exception of foreign students who reside within South Africa, such as such students must attach a passport or identification, valid permit to reside in South Africa, proof of income, and proof of residence. So first-time student not approved by NSFAS will be considered, provided they comply with the above conditions. Quotations and pro forma invoices. You may contact the faculty or college for the current year quotation. And we only generate pro forma invoices for the current academic year only, and issued after provisional or fully registered. Information required for issuing a pro forma invoices, we need a name of the employer or sponsor, their address, and VAT registration number if applicable. We do not issue out tax invoices, as Unisa study fees are tax exempted. Payments, method, and references. These are the links below that can be found on the Unisa website. So you find whereby we dealing with the methods such as credit card, ATM cash deposit, or EFT method. The most crucial section is the reference section, where you type the first 8 digits of your student number, followed by the codes. Which codes are we talking about? We're talking about maybe application fee. If a student is going to make payment for application fee, there's a specific code for it. And for study fees or MR, which is matriculation exemption, etc. If not allocated correctly, Unisa will not be held liable for any delays. Any finance-related queries can be sent to finance@unisa.ac.za. And for any payment allocation, if you incorrectly reference that proof of payment should be sent to our bank recon. Their email address is sustipete@unisa.ac.za. These are our banking details. for South African student using FNB. As you can see, I will also emphasize on the reference parties. It's your student number, space, and the reference number, and there's no need to put any commas. So the South African student not using FNB for their EFT should please use the following income account details. And this is the account details that should be used, and the reference part as well. It's very important. Payment by employers or bulk payment sponsors, bursaries, donors, and international students. This is the banking details that should be used, and payment advice form should be downloaded and completed and sent to our SASDPIT email, which is our bank recon for allocation. This is the payment, the payment forfeited for cancellation date and cooling off period. If a student may cancel his or her registration without reason or penalty within 10 days, 10 calendar days in writing or online, will not forfeit. But if the student cancels after the 10-day calendar days, the student is going to forfeit the minimum fee. For first semester module, if a student cancels before the 31st of March, will forfeit minimum fee. After this date, full payment will be forfeited. So for second semester modules, cancellation before 31st of August, minimum fee will be forfeited. After this date, full payment will be forfeited. For year modules, which is the second payment, cancelling before 15 May, minimum fee forfeited. After this date, minimum and second payment will be forfeited. And student will remain liable to pay both fees, which is the minimum and the second payment. Year module, which is the final payment, cancelling before 31st of August, minimum fee and second payment forfeited. And after this date, full fee forfeited. And student will remain liable to pay full outstanding fee. These are it's the refund whereby we only refund, we only process refunds which is 100 Rand and above, not less than 100 Rand. And application fee and miscellaneous fee are non-refundable. We administer refunds for formal qualification only, and a completed refund form accompanied by compulsory documents, and with incomplete documents will not be processed. These are the links below of the refund forms with a disclaimer for domestic and international students. Financial suspension. This is for financial suspension and reinstatement, which is applicable after the due date of payment for year module and semester 1 and 2. Financial suspension will run before exam admission program. So for students who have outstanding fee will still remain, will receive examination timetable. Financial suspension module may be reinstated in 3 conditions. Batch program on receipt of full payment, student who visit the university campus and indicate which modules to be reinstated after making payment on receipt of examination script, including aggregate or SIG. Okay, my apologies. I'm not sure if my
Ms. Moila, are you okay?
Oh, my apologies. My apologies. I didn't see that it muted my mic because now my screen was not visible on my side. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Please proceed.
All right. Thank you. Account flex. So for account flex, study fees debt flex, it's for fees payable on an active academic year automatically lifted upon receipt of payable and for accounts due immediately. Financial flag, it's for a debt that is written off and has to be updated manually. So for the library, it's a flag for fines or for books. So this has to be updated by our designated staff members from the library side, and this is their email below. Historic debt and handover debt. So according accounts with due balances from 300 Rand and over handed over to the collection agencies, which collection agencies are Khumalo Masondo, Nukumaimela, and Han Collection. The university reserves the right not to render any service to the student with outstanding balances. Please familiarize yourself with Unisa student rules and policies, and this is the link below. And that will be all from student dictators. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Moila. We'll allow the Q&A at about 10 past 11 or so. Colleagues, let's just move back to a presentation by Ms. Dinkosi. I understand that they're using a different integrated e-tutor model that they want to share with the panel and all our stakeholders in this meeting. Ms. Nkosi, are you ready to present?
Yes, Mr. Godi, Dr. Godi.
Okay, over to you.
I've shared my screen. Is it visible on your side, Chair?
Yes, it is. Please proceed.
Thank you, colleagues, fellow Unisans, good morning, and thank you for the opportunity. I will take over from where Mr. Zilo left off. We've got 3 schools within the college. The first one being the School of Management Sciences, the second one being the School of Public and Operations Management, the third one being the School of Economic and Financial Sciences. And so the 2 departments or the 2 schools that uses an integrated module sites, it's your School of Economic and Financial Sciences, as well as the School of Public and Operations Management. I would like to start off by saying that modules with e-tutors, students are urged to peruse their tutorial letter 101 for information on whether the module offers tutorial support or not. Also important to note is that it may appear or be stated in the tutorial letter 101 that the module offers tutorial support. However, you find that you are not linked to a tutor. This may be due to the number of students that are registered for the module. Only modules with 400 or more registered students will be allocated an e-tutor. Not all modules that were intended to offer tutorial support will eventually get linked to a tutor. And also very important to note is that Unisa e-tutors will only communicate with students through the Unisa learning management system, My Unisa. Should it happen that they want to engage with you outside of My Unisa, perhaps using Teams or Zoom, an announcement should be done on the learning unit, on the learning management system, My Unisa, prior to those arrangements being done. Refrain from engaging with tutors outside the identified and approved platforms. The integrated tutor module sites that are used in the two schools means that there will not be individual tutor sites. Mr. Zilo in his presentation alluded to that the E at the end of the site represents that it is an e-tutor site. In the case of the departments that uses integrated module sites, tutors work from the main module site. Therefore, you'll only see, for instance, economics, this is economics 1501, ECS 1501/24/semester 1 without an E at the end. Or if it is public administration management, then it will be PUB 1501/24/semester 1, and it won't have an E indicating that it's an e-tutor site. Students and tutor groups may happen within that main module site. If that were to happen, an announcement to that effect will be shared to alert students that you will be grouped within the main module site for you to be able to take part in activities as groups or to facilitate group discussions. And herein are the departments in camps that use the integrated tutor module site. The departments in the School of Economic and Financial Sciences are economics, finance, risk, marketing and banking, and decision sciences. And the departments in the School of Public and Operations Management are applied management, public administration and management, and operations management. Look out for the tutors in the main module site. And lastly, I would like to share on the benefits of engaging in online learning. As Mr. Tsilo alluded, our tutors have got a master's or higher, or a doctoral degree. And in most cases, they are lecturers or they are module experts in the field. Therefore, you can trust them and their knowledge that they bring. Tutors assist in mastering the learning unit and module outcomes. They also provide context and help you focus on and master content for overall learning and success in exams. It's very important that you engage with other scholars for context. It's easy, especially in theory modules, to generalize and miss the mark, and in that way you miss marks as well in your assessments. But by engaging in discussion forums, you will then learn with ease and be able to contextualize content and be able to apply it to real life case studies with the aid and the help of e-tutors. Also, engaging in online learning will improve students' learning experiences. There is a positive relationship between attending online classes and passing for the module for the first time. We have seen it happen, and in most cases, it happens for those students who participate in online learning. Online tutors are teachers with different skills of teaching than those of lecturers. They are module and experts in maybe online platforms as well. So they will assist you as well as in applying your knowledge in real life cases. They are experts not only on content, but application of, I've said that before, that they are lecturers or you find that they are industry experts and they've practiced in that field for many years. So they are backed with their experience. They've offer ongoing skills transfer and sharing of best practices. You learn from other students when you are engaged. You learn even learning management tools, and you are able to deal with your stress. It facilitates experiential learning, which cannot be replicated in individual tutor sites. Sometimes when you work in these online platforms, you then are able to, you are exposed to tutors, to many tutors other than to one tutor as per the individual tutor site. So it makes the workload lighter and more manageable. Remember, your tutors will introduce your learning aspects and content in bits and pieces, so making it lighter and more manageable. It also facilitates communication. You will never be left out. You'll be kept abreast with what is happening with the learning unit and the course as an overall, and you will never miss any information. I thank you, Chair, for your time, and thank you, fellow Unisans. Have a lovely day further.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nkosi. We really appreciate that. Colleagues, we are slightly running behind time. I'm going to ask student funding to come through, and then once they're done, I'm going to request that we change the program slightly. We've got colleagues from the regions. Dr. Ntulu's got other commitments, so I'll ask him to come just after student funding presentations. Student funding, are we ready? Ms. Mokobu and Mr. Manamela. Who's gonna go first?
Thank you, Chair. I think it will be ladies first. Not sure, Mr. Manamela.
Ladies first, thank you. I think I saw a hand. I'm not sure if it's the hand that needs to clarify certain things. We're not taking questions for now until there's a time slot for that, but I saw a hand. May I just check who it is from? I think it's Edmond. You've got your hand up. Is this in relation to the program? If it's questions based on the presentations, we'll allow for Q&A at about just after 11. Let's just proceed with the program. Or you can put the questions on the chat platform, colleagues, please. Thank you. Over to you.
The camera first. Thank you, Chair, and good morning to the colleagues and Unisa students. My name is Dineo Mokhubu from Student Funding. Let me close that so I can have my presentation on. Chair, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. Please proceed. Just make it big, so that it also helps with the recording purposes for future use. Thank you so much.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. I will be taking you through the NSFAS section. My colleague, Mr. Manamela, will take you through the private bursary sections. A little introduction. We are student funding. It's a division within the Unisa Finance Department. We administrate third-party payments paid on behalf of students by different donors such as NSFAS, NSFAS bursaries, which are Funza, Disability Fund, and TRC and others. And also the private bursaries, as I said, that Mr. Manamela will go through. I'll start with the NSFAS application process. NSFAS applications are normally or usually opened a year prior to your intended year of study. If you are applying for 2024, you were supposed to have applied last year in 2023. They are normally open from October the previous year to January this year. I think it was pushed the closing date until sometime mid-Feb. However, those are all administered by NSFAS. The application is strictly online. The students are expected to claim or do their My NSFAS portal. Chair, I would like to emphasize the importance of the NSFAS portal. Students use cell numbers and email addresses that by the time they get to their first year at the university, they forgot all those. Unfortunately, that's a platform that where the student have to interact with NSFAS. That's where they can track their application, the NSFAS application, how far is the application, whether they've been approved, whether they are outstanding documents. Students apply in October, November, December. Come January, when they get emails to or SMSs to upload documents, students have forgotten their My NSFAS portal password. When they need to reset the passwords, they don't have their old emails, they don't have their old cell numbers. If they can try to keep either the email or then the cell number that they use to do their My NSFAS portal, which will assist them in resetting the password. The NSFAS criteria it's for from the salary income household combination of 350 or less. Anything up over that, it's not funded. It funds the first year qualifications only for the duration of that qualification. NSFAS funding is valid for the full duration of the qualification. Students don't need to reapply during their qualification. If their qualification is for 3 years, they are funded for that. The only time they need to reapply is if they get a gap year. They can get a gap year due to different reasons, whether they were sick or the others they failed. Well, once you fall off for a year or so, you need to reapply to get back to the system. If not, when you are fully certifying the criteria, passing your modules every year, you then continue until you graduate. Students are currently funded they don't need to do anything for the second semester. The add modules will automatically activate their registration. NSFAS pays for first undergrad qualification, whether you paid for your first one, whether you had a bursary from anywhere that pays for the first qualification. If you have a complete undergrad qualification, NSFAS will not cover you for the second one. NSFAS pays for one qualification per year. There are students that will register for one qualification from January, 6 months into it. They feel, no, this is not for me. They want to change in the second semester. NSFAS doesn't allow that. But however, you are allowed to change your qualification, bearing in mind with the N+ rule that I will explain in later. But it cannot be done in a one academic year. Students who are registered for higher certificate, those are the cohort of students that need to reapply. The higher certificate is considered as a pathway. When you move to your formal qualifications, you need to reapply to be considered on the formal qualification that you are moving to. However, that cannot be done in the middle of the year. The students that starts their qualification in the middle of the year, who will be studying the higher certificate in January, will finish probably, in June, will finish probably next year, June. In the next year, we cannot fund them in the second semester when they are now moving to a formal qualification. They will have to wait for the application to open and reapply for the formal qualification in the other year. After the application for the registration processes, after a student select their modules, do their temporary registration, we receive an approved list together with the rejected list from NSFAS that is sent to universities in the beginning of the year. What we do, we activate registrations of those students that are on the approved list. We then, after we do the activation, we send back the application, the registration data to NSFAS via the same portal after the closing date of registration. After the closing of registration, we do that. We wait for registration to close because our students, they change. They add modules one by one, they cancel modules and take others. So once we send registration to NSFAS, unfortunately, we're only allowed to send 2 so that NSFAS can make a proper payment or an accurate payment to universities when we claim. After we load the registration, NSFAS then start verifying the registration that we sent. And the application, normally NSFAS does not ask for qualification that students are applying for. So when we send registration, that's when they go check their qualifications that are funded, qualifications that are not funded, the N+ rule. The N+ rule is the number of years that you are given to complete your qualification. The NSFAS normally gives the N+1, which is if your qualification is 4 years, they give you an extra 1 year. But you have to appeal and apply for that, as you have to check the circumstances that happen throughout the 4 years. Fortunately for Unisa, because it's an open distance learning, we get an N+4 or an N+2, which is the number of years multiplied by 2. So if your qualification is 4 years, you are expected to finish it in 8 years. When after we load the registration, NSFAS starts by looking at the N+, if the qualification is funded, if the household income it's now still as how you applied last year. If there's a change in the household income, that's where most of the students are defunded during the year. Any change, they keep on changing via SARS, confirming parents via my Home Affairs. Those are the things that they keep on changing during the year. Hence, most of the students will be funded at the beginning of the year, come June, July, especially the government, the students who have government employees, parents as government employees. After the 1st of April, when the salaries changes, they are now defunded because they are now over the 350 threshold. After we do registrations, students are registered, we pay allowances. Unisa students qualify for learning material allowances, incidental or living allowance or personal care. It's one thing. However, only students registered for minimum of 10, actually it's a maximum of 10, minimum of 10 or minimum of 10 modules qualify for a personal care. The personal care is 305 per month, which is 3,045 per year. It's paid for 10 months from February to November of every year. The learning materials, which is money for books, is calculated from 1 to 4 modules. It's 600 per module. Students who registered for 5 and more modules, it's 5,600, which is paid once off. It's for the whole year. But if you registered for 4 modules in the first semester, you will get the 600 multiplied by 4. But when you add your other modules in the second semester, we will then top up. But the students who register for 10 modules or 5 in the first semester, they get the 5,000 ones off. We paid, I know we were a bit behind with the paying with allowance, but the first big batch went out last week, Friday. For students. From there, the others will go every week as students update their banking details. We used to, in the previous year, we used to give students an option to choose a laptop or the book allowance. Due to that process of allowing students to choose a laptop, it became an administration nightmare. So now we are giving students, all the students, they are 5,000, they will choose whether they buy books or laptop with their money. The allowances are done in the beginning of the year. The student allowances are paid straight into their bank accounts. Students are requested to update their bank account. Well, after we finalize registration and we get confirmation from NSFAS that the student is funded, we send a link, a banking details link to students on their My Life. They need to update their banking details through that link, and that's where we pay after that. The challenges we have with that is our students, they claim their My Life emails very late. I think the previous speakers have emphasized the importance of my Unisa and My Life. I can't emphasize more. So we send them the My Life, the link, the banking link there. Students are still sending emails via their Gmail email accounts. Unfortunately, we only work on My Life, and if you don't update your banking details, we can't pay your allowances until such time it happens. The personal care or living allowances, the 305, it's paid via by NSFAS direct payment. Our service provider that is contracted to Unisa is CoInvest. Students will receive communication from CoInvest and SMSs guiding them on how to do, and emails on my live emails as well. Students that are rejected due to different reasons, they can appeal that. NSFAS gives them appeal time. I think now this year they're giving them 15 days to appeal. There's no open appeal period like previous years. Now they do it on an individual basis. If they get to your application, they reject you, they give you your appeal date. Your appeal date starts from that day. You'll get an SMS, you'll get an email of those appeals. So you need to monitor your portal every day. Students that are rejected, that are appealing, they need to pay for their minimum because the appeals can take up to even August, October of the same year. Students who have paid their minimum payment or who have paid their registration, they are refunded by NSFAS. Like students who are on appeal, because the closing date of registration come before the appeal can be finalized. They are allowed to pay their minimum with their own money. Then we pay them. We refund them in a later stage. However, when we refund, we minus any outstanding debt that the student might have from the payment that they paid, then we pay them the balance. We also have the NSFAS Disability Fund that is also applied in the same platform like NSFAS. However, here the criteria is it's up to 600,000 family income, combined family income. Here the only difference is the students with disability, when they apply, they are expected to attach the annexure. The annexure is a form that shows what kind of a disability the student had. That form needs to be completed by the doctor. The fund covers the wheelchairs, hearing aids, the adapted laptops, those laptops that need special softwares, the sign language interpreters, the guide dog, anything that a student with special disability can need. Then here is the cap amount, which is up to 50,000 on the devices. Here are our emails that when the students need to talk to us as DSF, it's dsf@nesfas@unisa.sc. All the inquiries that they need to find, they will find us there. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Manamela.
Good morning, colleagues. Thank you, my colleague Dinawa Mkubo. I'll be continuing with the private bursaries. My name is Gwena Manamela. Let me switch off my camera so that I can share my slides. Thank you. Okay, am I sharing, colleagues? Does it appear?
Yes, it does. Please proceed.
All right, thank you, Chair. Okay, with the continuation from taking over from my colleagues, we'll be presenting the bursaries that are available under private bursaries. I will start with the Department of Transport bursary, which is the first bursary that we offer on our in DSF. And we've got the second one, which is Hellisbeck Trust, and the CETA, the third one, Unisa Merit Bursary, Unisa Postgraduate Diploma and Honors Bursary. Okay, our first bursary, which is Department of Transport bursary, who can apply? The South African citizens are under the age of 35. can apply for the bursary, and the Unisa undergraduate and postgraduate NQL levels 6 to 9 students who attain an average of 50% on their previous years of studies. Retaining beneficiary must have passed 50% of or more on their previous years registered or funded module. So meaning if we funded you in 2023 academic year, you need to maintain that 50% average so that you can be able to be funded for 2024 academic year. Which postgraduate qualifications and undergraduate qualifications are funded under this particular bursary, which is Department of Transport bursary? We are talking about students who may apply for the bursary. Student should then be able to be enrolling for BCom degree or BCom honors degree in transport economics, or students who are enrolling BCom degree or BCom honors degree in logistics, or students who are enrolling for diploma or advanced diploma in civil engineering. What does the bursary cover? Bursary cover the tuition fees and prescribed textbooks. So the bursary itself, it doesn't pay for repeating modules or failed modules. How to apply? The bursary itself is advertised under my Unisa under bursary and loans. So the student can be able to obtain more information regarding to the bursary, but however, the student need to attach or complete the application form. No incomplete application form will be accepted, and the application must be sent to mahai.rc@unisa.ac.za. We've got our intern who's assisting her, but I even stipulated her email address there. But she's working with Ms. Mohashwa to assist in terms of evaluating the applications. So even if I didn't mention her email on this particular slide, please note that the returning student must reapply for funding. So the main reason why a returning student must reapply for funding is because of the financial situation. As one of the criteria of this particular bursary, you need to have the family household income of between 350 and 600,000 per annum. So the financial position of the families, they do change. As my colleague alluded that in some instances, you find that family backgrounds in terms of finances, they change because of annual increments. So you find that the student can be funded on this year, but you come next year after the assessments and evaluations, then the student then get rejected on NEFSAS. Even on the DOT is the same. We are on the second bursary, which is Hillsburg Trust bursary. And this bursary, we invite the student to apply based on their performance and the qualifications that they are enrolling for. Who can then apply, who qualify? South African citizens, undergraduate or postgraduate student, attaining an average of 60% on their prior year academic are eligible to apply. Students who are temporarily registered and registered by the 28th of January 2024. So you can apply for the bursary even if you are fully registered. Like example for this year, if you are now get invited for the bursary, because the bursary really doesn't have period. It's really depending on the donor and the availability of funds. So we can invite the student on the middle of June to say you qualify for the bursary, apply and attach relevant documents. Then we approve such students. Then if you paid the minimum payment or the full fee, then we can be able to refund you the money that you paid from your own pocket as student or from your parents' side. Students registered for following qualification are invited. So we check specifically which student we need to invite based on the qualification that they are enrolling. And student under medicine related qualification, technology, visual arts and music, and faculty of health and science. What does the bursary cover? Okay, the bursary cover tuition fee, full tuition fee, prescribed textbook, transport allowances, and any related study cost, and laptop computer only applicable on first-time bursary recipient. It implements if you receive the bursary in 2023 academic year, and in 2024 you are still in the bursary, you are invited, then you are not going to get allowances for the laptop. So it's only for students who are enrolling for the first time on the bursary to be granted laptop allowances. Please note that students need to check their My Life email account to access the bursary invitation, and not all students will be invited. So I know that most of students will be complaining to say, but my friend was invited for the bursary and I was not invited. And according to the requirements or the criteria, I will meet all the requirements that are needed. So basically, students, unfortunately, we can't invite all the students because we are also restricted by the budget and also other things that we need to consider so that we can cover, we can chow what we can swallow. For more information, students can email Ms. Ndlovu on email address ndlovumj2@unisa.ac.za. The third bursary to be SETA bursary. Who is eligible? This is invitation-based bursary based on the academic performance and qualifications. We've got various SETA bursaries that are different and sponsoring or covering different qualifications. So the student is very important when we advertise any bursary on our bursaries and loan portal. Student can be able to get more clarity and information and what is the criteria of the specific bursary, as all the bursaries, they are different in terms of the criteria. So in this regard, we've got many SETAs that are specified in terms of the requirements. Students who are currently unemployed, who, however, SETA, service SETA bursary do not fund employee students. Students who attain an average of 50% on their prior academic year of studies. This is applicable to some SETA bursary. Kindly visit SETA website to learn more, because in some bursaries, we do controlled by the donor. So in this regard, you find that the SETA will come to us and to say, yes, the drafted criteria for students we would like to fund a specific certain group of students who are enrolling for certain qualifications. So we use the criteria based on the donor's demands or request. Types of SETAs, we've got first SETA, we've got SETA, we've got TETA, we've got SETA. As I stipulated earlier on, that we've got different types of SETAs. We've got bank SETA, we've got service SETA. So all the SETAs, if we do advertise any bursary, we will stipulate the criteria differently to the name of the bursary itself. Please note that students need to check their My Life account to access the bursary invitations, because we do send the invitation to My Life. So we always going to encourage the student to check on My Life email address, because students tend to use their private email address like your Gmails, your Outlook, or your other private emails that they are normally preferred to use to communicate with us. So for more information regarding the SETA bursaries, students can email Ms. Ndlovu on email address ndlovumj2@unisa.ac.za. We are on the fourth bursary, which is Unisa Merit Bursary. Who can apply? This is an invitation-based bursary. We invite the student based on their academic performance and qualifications. The bursary is only awarded to South African citizens registered for a formal qualification in any discipline at Unisa. So meaning when we are saying a formal qualification, we are mainly talking about a first year of a diploma or degree. So students that are enrolling for higher certificate, they do not qualify to apply for the merit bursary because the bursary is mainly focusing on the degrees and diplomas. Students must have obtained at least an average of 75% and above on the previous year. So meaning if you are doing LLB this year and you want to qualify for merit bursary next year, you need to obtain at least 75% average on your first year module, so that you can probably meet the criteria for the merit bursary. Financially needy and missing middle students qualified to be considered for the bursary, kept on annual family income of 600,000. I think it's more similar to Department of Transport bursary. So it's 600,000 for family household income. What will only made if there's sufficient fund, because this particular bursary is relying mainly on a raising of funds. So we are working together with the Unisa Foundation to raise funds then we can be able to cover our students. Last year, our budget was sitting on, it was 3 million. So we managed to cover only 120 students. So yeah, the more we can raise more funds, is the more we can cover more students, as there's a need in terms of the demand from the student, as normally they send the request or the inquiries directly to me. So there's a need for more funding in this particular bursary because the students are really doing well, especially in the College of Education. Students, they are doing very well that side. Those that are enrolling for B.Ed qualification. We continue with the merit bursary. Who can apply as is continuing? Student who received the bursary in 2023 no need to apply. Such student must, however, meet the 75% average to be considered for bursary in 2024 academic year. So it's very strict. I know most of students, they find that they can be on the bursary for only 1 year due to the fact that next academic year, you find that the student was unable to maintain the average of 75%. Student must register for a maximum of 5 modules per semester and the equivalent for the year courses. So you find that students, they tend to try and rob or probably try to perform better by registering less module so that they can maintain that particular average of 75%. But we encourage the student to register the maximum of 5 modules per semester, so that even the completion of the period completion of the qualification, if the qualification is 3 years, the student can tend to complete that qualification within 3 years, not extending the qualification to 4 or 5 years. Qualifications are funded, or which qualifications are funded? Only students registered for formal Unisa undergraduate may apply. So I emphasized that before to say students that are doing higher certificate, they don't qualify to apply for this particular merit bursary. What does the bursary cover? Okay, we cover the tuition fee and prescribed textbook. Then we pay 600 for textbook allowances for each module that is registered for. So normally the student then will register 10 modules. It will be 600 multiplied by 10. Then that will be 6,000 for textbook allowances. Bursary doesn't cover or doesn't pay for failed or repeating modules. How to apply for this merit bursary? You complete the application form as a student. No incomplete application form will be accepted, and the application must be sent to unisa@unisa.ac.za, which is me. So all the inquiries relating to question to merit bursary, you can send all the question and inquiries directly to me, which is my email address, holejk1@unisa.ac.za. We are now on Unisa Postgraduate Diploma and Honors bursary, which is the 5th bursary. Who can apply? South African citizen, completed in NQL level 7, Unisa undergraduate qualification by the 31st of January 2024 at an average of 60% on the entire qualification, including failed modules. So most of time students, they tend to misunderstand this particular criteria of obtaining an average of 60% on the entire qualification, including a failed module. So meaning, let's say, for example, a student have written FAC 1501 module for the first time, and he got 30%, and it was a fail. Then the second time, student obtained 50%. So we are going to add FAC 1501 twice on the calculating the average of that particular module. So it's going to be 30%, the first percentage that you have obtained on the first attempt of your examination. Then the second attempt, it will be 50%, and that will be 80 divided by 2, that will be 40. So your average for that particular module only, it will be 40%. So it's going to be difficult if you are doing subs and failing the module to obtain that particular 60% average. Who can not apply? Unisa permanent staff members. They don't qualify to apply for this particular bursary. Students who already hold a postgraduate degree at the same or higher NQF level to the qualification registered in 2024. Let's say the student has a BCom degree and BCom honors degree and master's degree and even doctoral degree, but the student has got intention to enroll for honors on a different field. So that particular student automatically, he or she doesn't qualify because she has the qualification which is more than NQF level 7. So that particular student doesn't qualify to apply for postgraduate diploma and honors bursary. What does the bursary fund? The bursary cover tuition fee only. So it simply means there's no any allowances that the student receive from this particular bursary. Award funds student for the first 2 consecutive years of study. So meaning we award the student for only 2 years. So if we award you this year for postgraduate diploma or honors qualification, and we can only award you next year for 2025, so that it can be 2 consecutive years. Bursary doesn't cover failed or repeating modules. Bursary doesn't cover historical debt. So if you are applying for the bursary for 2024 academic year and you had an historical debt, meaning maybe you were doing undergraduate qualification and you are sitting with any outstanding balance, the bursary doesn't cover the outstanding balances, unfortunately. Bursary doesn't fund a special study program, including certificate, e.g. postgraduate certificate in education or non-degree purposes modules. Note that awarding will be provided from the highest to the lowest performing students, subject to the availability of funds, as per average calculated for the entire undergraduate qualification. Let's say, for example, under the College of Education, if we have students that manage to get an average of 90%, and we've got this student who meet the requirement of 60% average. Unfortunately, when we start to award the student, we start from high performing student or high percentage student to low performance, low percentage student. So in some instance, you find that you met all the criteria, but unfortunately, because of restricted funds, you find that you are not going to be able to award you that particular bursary even if you meet all the criteria of the bursary.
Please be mindful of time, Mr. Manamela.
All right, thank you, Chair. Okay, the bursary, if you want to apply for the bursary, you can visit on my Unisa to be able to obtain, to apply for the particular bursary. The link will automatically reroute you to my Unisa so that you can use your credentials to log in on my Unisa. Then automatically the system will read you whether you are still undergraduate or doing a postgraduate qualification. Then you can be able to complete your application there. That will be just tools that are needed to apply for our postgraduate qualifications bursary, and then queries relating to this postgraduate qualification can be sent to CGS at postgraduate@unisa.ac.za, so we can be able to attend all your queries relating to the bursary. That should be it. Sorry, Chair, for extending my presentation, and thank you for the opportunity.
No, thank you so much, sir. No, I understand you needed to cover a lot, but I'm just trying to ensure that we also cover the rest of the presentations on the allocated time. Colleagues, we are going to allow Regents, Dr. Ntuli to present, then immediately after that, then bursaries will follow. As I've indicated, that Dr. Ntuli has another pressing matter to attend to. If you can just excuse us for that. Dr. Ntuli, are you ready? Over to you.
Yes, I am ready, Chair. I am ready. Let me just upload my slide.
We can see the slides. Please proceed accordingly.
Okay, thank you very much, students and colleagues. This is me, Dr. Smangelen Duli, and I'm the Head Facilitation of Learning at Gauteng region. I'll be sharing with you an overview of student support services that we provide in the regions. So let me close my camera now for now. Okay. A Unisa regional footprint, as you can see, we are all over the country. We are in the Eastern Cape, we're in Gauteng, we're in KwaZulu-Natal, we're in the Northeastern region, which covers Limpopo and Mpumalanga. We are in Midlands, that is Northwest Free State and Northern Cape, and we are also in the Western Cape. The role of regions, in short, is that regions are placed in areas that are closer to students across the country. They bring the university closer to the students. We are mindful of the fact that Unisa is an open distance learning institution. Therefore, we make sure that at least we bring services to you through these regions. So these regional offices, they reach students regardless of their geographical location. They also create a positive learning experience for you as students. They facilitate student success by providing professional, administrative, and academic support services. So as you can see, we reach out to the students based in the urban areas, students who are also in the rural areas, who are young, who are matured, employed and unemployed, even the retired, because some of our students, once they reach the retirement age, they start studying. So that's where we are, we come in. That is why we are called a comprehensive educational institution. So the services that we are offering in the regions, they vary from academic literacies. I will explain later what is academic literacies. We support you on computers. I heard Zilo even mentioning that you can go to the labs where you can activate your MyUnisa. We provide counseling services because students at some stage, they have challenges, even emotionally, mentally, they cannot cope. So that's where we come in as regions. You go there, you don't pay a cent, and you get free counseling services. We have library services. They will talk about it. We've got tutorial services. We also do graduations. If you are in the Western Cape, you'll graduate in Western Cape. If you are in Limpopo, you will graduate in Limpopo. We've got application and registration, even there, study spaces. So with tutorials, the colleges have already given you the background of the tutorial services that we offer. In the regions, we concentrate mainly on hybrid. That is, we conduct our tutorial services or on hybrid, which means face-to-face as well as online using MS Team. We appoint qualified tutors. This service is actually depending on the college's appointment of tutors. That is why the colleges will have given you the full plate of the services, because we provide these services only to the high-risk modules. That is those modules that students fail in high numbers. That's where we come in, we bridge the gap, we provide classes for you. So that is why we do not give this service to all the modules, but only to selected modules. And then the academic literacies, we provide the reading and writing services. We provide quantitative literacies and research writing. So it is important for you students, because we understand that as students, you come from high school, and as you enter into this open distance learning institution, some of you cannot write academically, and that's where we come in through our facilitators who are qualified, who have got a master's and PhDs. They will teach you how to write in an academically accepted manner for undergraduates, and even for how to write your essays. because, you know, when you write an essay, you are expected to meet certain requirements, and that's where we come in. Quantitative literacies, we take you through, even from using a scientific calculator, how to use a scientific calculator in modules where there are numbers like statistics, like economics, maths. We assist you about the skills on how to approach these modules. So we have workshops that are conducted in all the regions. You just get a link, you get there, and you'll get your qualified facilitator to assist you. We have research writing only for postgraduate students. We understand that the research element is now even in the honors degree, and we will take you through. We'll hold you by your hand and show you the hows of doing your research, from research proposal, research methodology, literature review, etc. So the ball is in your court. You have to attend these workshops for you to be to align yourself with this academic environment. Then we have digital support services in the computer labs. That's where you'll get access to computers for study purposes. You can bring your own device, of course, but if you don't have, we've got computers that are there stationed for you to be able to access your MyUnisa. We also have Wi-Fi. Even if there is load shedding, the regions have a backup power where you can sit in. You've got access to the Wi-Fi. You've got there's no limitation of power. There are study areas that are always open, and then when it's exam time, we extend the hours where you can sit even in the evening and study and meet your fellow students and make sure that you study as a group. And then we've got basic computer skills training. There are trainings that are happening. You can come face to face. You can even come online. You can even log online, because we've made sure that those who are able to come face to face, they can get those trainings. Those who are unable to, they can log in online. So these we've got digital learning trainings, assistance also with your signature modules on how to do your signature modules. Thank you very much. That will be all for my side. Thank you, Program Director.
Thank you so much, Doc. We really appreciate your detailed presentation, and you can be excused for your next commitment. If there are questions, we'll refer them to you. They will be on the chat.
Thank you.
You can maybe check later on. Thank you so much. Colleagues, we'll
Pleasure.
move on to...
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Doc. Colleagues, we'll move on to the next item, that is library by Mr. Machila. Mr. Machila, you ready? There we go. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, and morning, colleagues. Also, well, let me welcome our students who managed to log in. I hope you'll find this very useful. My name is Henry Machila from the library, but from the main library in Pretoria. I'll be assisted by Mrs. Lucky Muluku and Ms. Bongi Maema. Thank you. I'll switch off my camera now so that I continue to save time. Okay, Chair, I will share the document that I will be presenting. Can you see my document?
Yes, we can, Mr. Machila.
Okay.
Please proceed.
Yeah, thank you. In our introduction, it's the access to the library services that you know about. We've got the electronics, resources, and other collections. Unisa libraries are also found in all the regions. From the latter speaker who's just spoken now, is mentioned the regions. We are also there. We consist of 13 branches across the country, including the one in Ethiopia. There's the one, we've got branches in Cape Town, Florida, in Joburg, even though Florida has been renovated currently. But students can use the Joburg one. We are available in Ekurhuleni as well. We also are available in Rustenburg and Sunnyside. All these regions and branches, you get full library support and also material. We support you with the materials for your assignments and your for your examinations. Now, most importantly, our library hours is from 7:45 until 4 in the afternoon. But as Dr. Nkosi as Dr. Ntuli has indicated, in the regions, times may vary according to needs, but predominantly it's from 8 in the morning until 6. If there will be any changes of library hours, that will be communicated and it will be indicated so in various platforms. Our libraries across, we've got study collection, which is the collection that's predominantly prescribed materials, prescribed books and recommended books. We've got journals as well, but bear in mind, we also have got electronic journals which are available from various databases according to subject fields, depending on your information need. We also have got audiovisual, where we've got you can mention them. We've got videos for research. We've got microfiche. We also have got items in the open shelf. The items in the open shelf, you don't need to request them. If you walk in the library, you go straight to the shelf after identifying the availability through the catalog system. We also have got our presidential library, Thabo Mbeki, here at the main campus. It's housed in Khorong. Quickly, just to share with the students, if you go to the Unisa main page, www.unisa.ac.za, you'll see all the tabs there at the top. You click on that one, it will then take you to this library option. There are various options. You can select catalog search. Under catalog search, there are keywords, there's title. But I also want to indicate that you can access your material using the course code. Now, the services that we offer for students, undergraduate students, and all other clients, including the people who are not registered, we've got branch libraries across. They assist you with training in the use of the library services and also for downloading, information retrieval. So you don't need to worry about downloading information you don't know how to code or to write reference. We are available to assist you to use academic sources. We also have got information search librarians. You can send your request there to the searches or the topic of your assignment, then they will revert back to you. We've got personal librarians. These are predominantly for the postgraduate students. If you're doing your honors, your masters and your PhD, you will get services from them. But I must also indicate that postgraduate are also serviced by branch librarians as well, depending on their needs. Next slide is, we also have got specialized services. We've got services and resources to clients with disability. We've got special areas and special equipments right here at the main campus in the library. We're working in conjunction with the ACSWE department. Entrance fees are not charged for any accompanying person. You know that if you want to use the library, you need to be a registered student with the student card. If you are an outside, you are not registered, you just want to come for research, you pay for using our resources. Remember, we've got electronic databases that we subscribe all over the world, which are loaded with wonderful academic information. So if you're using someone to assist you, if you are partially sighted, that person, we won't charge the person to assist you walking the library. The dogs, guide dogs are welcome. We've got extended loan periods for people with disability. Wheelchairs are also available in the library, but upon a request. We also have got sign language interpreter to assist. Just briefly to indicate our presidential library, and I'm proud to indicate that Unisa library is one of the libraries to have this special library. We've got the collection during the pre-era of the presidential era, and also the current era, and also the post-presidential era of Thabo Mbeki Presidential Library. This library, as I've indicated, it's here at the main campus. There's our staff there most of the time. Her name is Innocentia Padi. She will gladly assist you and take you through. It's open from 7:45 and there you see the times. You can directly access the library there in the address given. The library services that we have, we've got Summon Discovery Tool, which is it's a platform to give you access to all the databases that I've mentioned. For example, we've got newspapers. I know a lot of you're not aware. You don't need to go and buy newspapers or subscribe. We've got a database for newspapers, all the newspapers in South Africa and the world. It's called Press Reader. You can access that for free. You only use your student number and my Unisa password. We've got electronic books and electronic journal articles. All these you download for free. Visit any library, ask the librarians to assist you and to show you and take you through. Most importantly, remember, we've got courses available. We advertise them. We teach you how to use the databases. We teach you how to download the e-reserves that they spoke about earlier, my colleagues. We teach you how to download the prescribed articles as well. And all the trainings are for free. You can attend as many as you can. We will never say you've attended before. No, until you understand. And you can access the library catalog on EPIC. If you download the mobile on the phone or tablet, there's the address there, the MM for mobile, oasis.unisa.ac.za. You can access the library anywhere you go. Our electronic reserves, let me explain this. We've got electronic reserves and we've got electronic sources. Electronic reserves are the prescribed chapters, recommended chapters in your prescribed textbooks or recommended books. We put them together, we link them to your course code. You just click on your course code, you get them ready. They may include journal articles like law cases and chapters as I've indicated. You can access by course code PVL 103 or wherever you put your course code, it will appear down there. borrowing and requesting books. And let me indicate this to our fellow students. Please note that Unisa libraries are open, even for walk-ins. A lot of students are not aware that we are open. Please visit the libraries. Since COVID, the students thought that libraries not operating. We are here, we're waiting for you to assist you. Besides accessing the library telephonically or through Teams, the staff members are available every day. Undergraduates are allowed to have 8 items. That includes audiovisual, it can be CDs, it can be any other multimedia for 21 working days for the audiovisual. But otherwise, you've got a full month to loan our library items. Postgraduates, that's honors, masters, and PhD students are allowed to have 16 items. However, if you're doing your research and you require more than 16 items, you can write to the library, obviously, with the permission from the department, and then we will allow you to have more. The short learning courses, those who have registered for for diplomas and others are welcome to have 4 items per loan. We deliver books at your doorstep. We use the address that you've indicated. We're using courier services. Students are allowed to get their books from the branches if they prefer to collect them from the branches. And when they request, you can indicate so. You can indicate whether you'll collect it yourself or it will be sent to you. The renewals can be done online via OSS catalog. We will also train you how to do all this. You can do it on your app, on your phone, if you already know. And telephonically, you can call the library on those numbers and they will assist you. In various regions, you can also call the regions. If you visit the library web, you'll see the regional telephone numbers of the different libraries. Materials can be returned to the branch libraries or to the main campus. Make sure that you renew your items in time to avoid fines. If you don't renew your items, we're going to fine you and you won't be able to re-register or proceed with your studies. It's very important to respect the library items. Do not tear, do not highlight. If you're found doing that, you will be penalized. And it's very costly to replace one book. Even if a book is 50 Rand, it may cost the library more than 3,000 to put it on the shelf, back on the shelf. So this is very important to share with you. And lastly, how to contact the library. You can find us on the webpage of the library. And very importantly, please note that you can access the library directly. You can access the library via my Unisa platform as well. So you've got all the options available. And lastly, feel free to visit us like I've indicated. We've got the library chat. You can check us on the Facebook, library Facebook, and we are available for your assistance. The numbers that are given in the presentation and also check on our web, you can call anytime and the librarians will assist you. Chair, I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Machila. We really appreciate you and your presentation. Please stick around for questions. I will now move to the next item, and this will be from the Division of Advocacy and the Resource Center for Students with Disabilities. The presenters is Ms. Moroka as well as Ms. Ndlovu. Colleagues, are you ready with the presentations? And who's gonna go first? Ms. Moroka and Ms. Ndlovu.
Good morning. Good morning, Chairperson, and good morning to our student. I thought Ms. Ndlovu is online. However, if Mrs. Ndlovu is not online, I will project my presentation. However, I will touch based on application and registration, which is a student doc for students with disability. Let me just touch based on that before I project my own presentation that speaks about academic support. I'll be brief because I can see we are pressed of time. My name is Helen Muraga. I'm from ACSWIT that supports students with disability. I didn't show my face. Let me show my face because I thought Mrs. Ndlovu will come first. I guess colleague can see me. This is me, Mrs. Muraga from ACSWIT.
Program Director, I think Ms. Moraga is muted.
Oh, thank you. I was not aware. We encourage students to disclose their disability. We know disclosing it comes with a stigma. Most of our students, they don't like to disclose due to the fact of being getting the stigma from their fellow peers. Whatever that happened is that they shouldn't take that route of looking down upon themselves because they are able in their own way of doing things. That is why we don't call them disabled, but we call them student with disability. We don't call them student living with disability because if we call them like that, that means if we live with something, at some point, that particular thing must leave you. Like when you stay with your man in the house or a boyfriend, at some time that person will leave you, but the disability sometimes is there permanent. Therefore, we call them that are our students with disability. So we encourage them to disclose during the inception, to disclose during application, as our colleagues from NSFAS spoke about a different disbursement of fees for them. They apply for NSFAS disability, which is different from the NSFAS that we know. They get resources that are totally different from the normal NSFAS. Our colleagues spoke about that they get allowances for wheelchair, allowances for devices, allowances for personal cares. Furthermore, during the registration, students are given different forms that they need to fill in. There's an annexure that is supposed to be filled in by your doctor where you disclose your disability. By so doing, we capture that in the system. There's no need for you to disclose every year. If you disclose once during your inception or during your application, come 2025, you are not going to disclose. However, what you need to do is that you need to indicate when you apply or when you register. Furthermore, after registration and after application and registration, then there are forms that you are going to fill in. Where I come in, I've just touched base about disclosure because that is the most important thing, that even if when you apply for NSFAS, don't go to the normal or ordinary NSFAS, go to NSFAS disability or disability NSFAS so that you can get all those allowances. Then we quickly come to the responsibility that I do. ACSWIT is a support department. We are not in academia. I'm not an academic, but I'm a support structure to students with disability. We are working hand in hand with our academics to support our students so that they can succeed in their journey. I'm going to share my presentation right now, Chair, but as I'm sharing my presentation, I will just speak quickly. I will not follow the presentation as it is. What happened after you have registered? We've got a different student with different disabilities. For students that are blind, we normally have the relation with different publishers so that our students that are blind and partially blind can get the e-book, electronic book. We request the electronic book from the publishers, apart from the money that they get from NSFAS for prescribed book. Apart from that allowance that they get, we also jump in to assist them. We request the book, the e-books, and those e-books are only meant for a particular student and for a particular module. You're not supposed to share that book with any student. Furthermore, we also share the forms. There are forms that we share with students for extra time of exam for any disability. We we send the form to our students. However, those forms are also available online. Students are supposed to fill in those forms for reasonable accommodation. As long as you have disclosed, then you are eligible to get extra time, and the extra time is allocated by examination. Moreover, we also liaise with our honorable academics to accommodate our students reasonably so, especially when it comes to assignments. You find that some of our students, they haven't received devices on time because they get 50,000. That is the amount for their assistive devices. I also write motivation to NSFAS, but the motivation, they go through the student funding, and from student funding, they go to NSFAS, so that NSFAS can support our students with disability with assistive devices, wheelchair, your reading glasses, any assistive devices, as long as you have disclosed accordingly. I write a motivation, send it through to be processed. Moreover, what we do during graduation, we request a list from ICT for all our students with disability that are going to graduate so that we can support them accordingly. As soon as we receive the list, we liaise with the student so that we check what kind of a support are they needing from us, because some, they get that 50,000, they've got people that are assisting them personally, and they will then say they don't need any assistant. However, we are available to assist them. We urge our students that they must not abuse the system by not submitting assignment on time, that because they are student with disability, and then they are using that status so that our lecturers or our academics are moreover abused of that. We are encouraging them that they must stick to their timelines, even if we communicate with our academics to accommodate them reasonably. Let it be a genuine request. Let it not be a request that is being abused by our student. I will pause here, a chairperson. I think in my slide you will see from your department how many students that are registered that has disability. I guess you have access to the slide, Chair. I will pause because of time. Thank you.
We actually didn't see the slides, but can you maybe share with Ms. Morabi or myself, and then we can then post them onto the chat platforms for all the stakeholders present here to be able to access them.
I'm sharing it right now, Chair. My apology for that.
No, not a problem. Thank you so much. So I believe Ms. Ndlovu won't be presenting. Can we move on to the next one? To the next
Yes,
section?
Chair. I've tried to cover up because I realize we are pressed of time. I've just tried to touch base. We didn't dwell much. I just touched base on the important issues. Thank you, Chair. You can continue.
The slides will help a lot. Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Moraka. Colleagues, we will now move to the Q&A. I've been informed that the student retention unit presentation will be deferred into the next one. Unfortunately, they could not be here or send a representative into this session. I think this is the important time for all our stakeholders, especially our students, those who've got questions, queries, clarity-seeking questions, or comments. This is the time for you to, or also for colleagues as well. If you want to comment or you want to raise a question, this is the time. But I won't be handling this. I will hand this over. I've also been told that there has been a change instead of Mr. VR Muyela, we'll have Ms. B.S. Nkosi, Mahlangu, handling this important aspect of the day. Ms. Mahlangu, are you ready?
I'm ready, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Over to you. Ms. Morabi, can you monitor the queries on the platform so that we can be able to answer to the queries raised? Okay, over to you, Ms. Mahlangu.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, students. My name is Busisiwe Mahlangu from the Industrial and Organizational Psychology Department. I am standing in for Mr. VR Mulea this morning. We've had a very full morning of presentations. Thank you so much, colleagues, for all those informative presentations. Students, it is now your time to present all those burning questions that you came with into the session, or questions that arose as you were listening to what was presented. Just some housekeeping rules. You will raise your hand. I will then acknowledge you. Then Ms. Morabi will activate your mic. Then you can speak to the platform and present your question. If you are perhaps in a noisy area and you can't switch on your mic, you can post your question on the chat platform and it will be addressed accordingly. I do implore you to visit the chat function. There are some important links that were shared there, and there was a robust discussion going on in the morning. So just to save time and to make sure that we address all the questions, I will ask that you present your questions succinctly so that we can address as many questions as possible. Then I will hand over to you, students, to raise your hand and I will acknowledge you accordingly. Earlier, I noted a hand by a Edmore Mahembe. Edmore, I'm not sure if you are content with what was presented or you still want to present your question. Students, I invite you to raise your hand and pose your questions.
Ms. Mahlangu, maybe we can read through the questions onto the chat, those that are not answered yet.
Let me go over the chat. Most of the questions were answered. I just noted the one, the very first one from Luyanda. It says, I passed my grade 12 with bachelor's and applied for a higher certificate. Does that mean I won't be able to apply for a job, but I must apply for a bachelor's degree? That's the one question I noted was not answered.
Good day, colleague Ms. Mahlangu. Applying for any qualification at the University of South Africa does not stop any student from applying for a job as long as they've got their matric. By applying for any qualification, you are furthering your knowledge or you are equipping yourself so that you can be better positioned to compete with the other peers in the labor market. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, colleague. There's another question from Kollega. He says, morning, may I please ask that if you are doing higher certificates, is it true that the chances of getting a job is lower?
It's me again. There is no scientific proof that when you are doing a higher certificate, your chances of getting employed are lower. A higher certificate means that you are requested to do it provided you did not pass your matric with a bachelor's, so that you can, it's sort of a bridging course to a degree or a diploma. So it doesn't have any reference to employment. It is just a passage to articulate to a higher qualification. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Another question that I suppose relates to Popia from Alicia. She says, I would like to find out, how do the tutors that are not Unisa verified get hold of our contact details? Is there anything you're doing about it? A transparency from Unisa will be highlighted and appreciated.
Let me come in there, Ms. Mahlangu. Well, we don't really know how this information is leaking to these to the thieves, as I call them. So students are always welcome to bring this to our attention. But when we do receive cases, we do take it to our legal department to take it up with the police, because it is a police matter. So to this day, we really don't know who's selling or who is giving away information. But we hope with the new layer of security that was introduced this year, the MFA multi-factor authentication, it might assist in curbing that problem. And also, one of the challenges with that MFA is that our students are constantly changing their numbers. So we ask that students hold on to one number at least until they finish their studies, so that they don't have challenges to log into their My Unisa or during exams, because it sends codes to authenticate them to the cell phone, and they have changed the cell phone to another one. So they must just bring the information of the thieves who are stealing the numbers, so that we can try and take it to the relevant department to investigate.
Thank you, Mr. Sadiki. There's a hand by Charlotte Nchalaze.
Hi, thank you. Okay, so my question is, right, I'm currently completing a Bachelor of Commerce in Business. And in terms of just advancing my career, I was just wondering if the Bachelor of Commerce in the same, like, business informatics honors, is it still being provided by the college? Because what I've noticed on the website is that it appears when you select all qualifications, but when you filter using the College of EMS, it's not showing there. So is it maybe in being continued, or what may be the case in terms of the honors for that particular business informatics qualification?
Thank you, Charlotte. Who will take that question, colleagues?
The qualifications which are on the website are the ones which are currently available. If there is no qualification which is on the website, then that qualification or any of the qualification might be under development. But students would be informed of such if there's any qualification which would be phasing out or which is phased out. But currently what you see on the website is what is available to the students.
Okay, thank you. Just to leave a note, maybe the college might want to just take into consideration the fact that it's not appearing under the college qualifications, but it is appearing under the all qualifications. So I'm not sure which college it falls under, but maybe you'd want to maybe just take a look at that and just do some corrections, please. Thank you.
I've taken note of that. Thank you. I'll then escalate it so that the information is either updated or corrected. That's BCom Informatics.
Honors, yes. So the BIS is yes, it's fine. It's just the honors that's not appearing in the college.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Charlotte. Not noting any hands. Just browse through the chat again. Not seeing any new questions. Students, you are welcome to pose your questions, or colleagues, if you have any comments that you would like to put forward, this would be a good time. A hand by Tandiwe Blakey. Ms. Murabi, can you please unmute Tandiwe?
Hi, I've been struggling with network on my side, so I don't know if this question has been already covered. Can I ask?
Yes, you can pose your question.
Okay, I'd like to ask, how can I access the tutors and for assistance and the steps I should follow? I don't know if is it involved in here, and what do they assist us with?
Okay, colleagues.
I think the question is actually directed to Mr. Zilo and Mr. Ngosi.
I'll take the question, Chair. Thank you. Kindly please refer to your tutorial letter 101, ma'am, to see if the module that you are referring to has tutorial support. Kindly also please note that even though it may be stated within the tutorial letter 101 that the module has tutorial support, however, in rare cases where the number of registered students do not meet the required tutor-student ratio, which is 400, then a tutor might eventually not be allocated for that module. Once you have identified that information in the tutorial letter, then access the module via the My Unisa Learning Management System. Search for the module which you are interested to have an e-tutor on. And we've shared at the beginning of the presentations, we've shared information on depending on which school you are in. If you are in the School of Management Sciences, you will be able to access an individual tutor site for which you should have already been allocated to without reaching out to us. But should it happen that you are not allocated a tutor, kindly please refer to that tutorial letter 101. It will also tell you who to send inquiries to. I hope that answers your question. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. I just wanted to add also if you go to my Unisa, because the lectures also announce on the main site if your module has the e-tutors. If you are not sure, you can also find out from your department. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. Tandiwe, are you answered?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I have another question. So on the NSFAS situation, I just wanted to get clarity on the, because I saw an announcement that we need to update our account details. So I don't know where to go and what to do. How are we going to update those banking details?
Noted, Tandiwe. Colleagues? Colleagues from student finance.
Thank you for the question, student. As the university is currently preparing to pay the allowances to students, and as we pay the allowances based on the batches, based on the groups, and based on the money that we received from NEFSAS, you find that if you haven't received any link to upload your banking details, it simply means your allowances is not going to be paid in the coming 1 or 2 weeks, because probably the university hasn't received the payment from NEFSAS. So to download the banking details or to update the banking details, you get a link from us, which is Unisa student funding, to my live email address. We send the email to my live email address with a link. So once you click that link, then you use your credentials to my Unisa credentials to update or upload your banking details. So some students haven't received the link and some students already received the link. So we can be able to check on our profile to say whether the allowances specifically for you as student, is it ready? Are you supposed to receive the link? Have you checked my life? Have we sent the link already to you? Have you checked my life? Because we can only send the link to my live email address. So it's very key and important in this particular statement to say, as a student, you must keep on checking my live email address, whether we haven't sent any communication relating to uploading or updating the banking details. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
I
Thank
hope
you,
the
colleagues.
student will get the clarity regarding that.
Yes, I'm going to pose one more question, and Chair, if you can just give me an indication in terms of time. This question is from Babalwa. She says, I would like to know if I missed 2 assessments in a module in first semester, can I be able to apply for it in second semester? She says she's doing 10 modules.
Let me come in there, Ms. Mahlangu. If the student had missed 2 assignments in a semester or in a module, the student will then need to re-register for the second semester if there was no communication sent to the institution that the student will not be able to continue with the module on that semester.
Thank you, Ma'am Ravi. There is a question posed on the chat with screenshots. Can I just ask the colleagues just to browse if it's relevant to you to respond on that question? Or it's regarding the Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Business.
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay. Chair, how are we doing for time?
We actually out of time. I think you can wrap up if there is, you can take maybe one or two and then we can move to the last item. Yes.
All right, thanks. Students, if there are any more burning questions that you want to put forward, the time is now. Rio, Ricky? I noted a hand by Brielle Ricky. Ricky, you can post your question. Oh, I think she's unmuted by mistake.
Am I unmuted? No,
yeah.
that's great. Oh, great. Oh, no, I just wanted to say to our student, let me just delete my comment. Where's our student? Babalwa. Babalwa. I just wanted to say to her, so if she missed already the 2 assignments, then if she goes into financial suspension, she don't need to pay the last part. At least Unisa is very good in that way. When she registers again, then it's not like she pays now the full time and then again the second semester the full amount. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricky. Students, if there are no more questions in the interest of time, I will wrap this session up and hand it back over to you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mathangu. We really appreciate the effort exerted. And if there is further questions, I think the students can contact the departments. The information has been shared on the chat platform. Colleagues, will move to the last item on the agenda, which is the vote of thanks and closure, and this will be given by Prof. Alice. Prof, over to you.
Thank you, Program Director. I have a short presentation that I want to show. Let me just get it into slideshow. If you can just please confirm, Dr. Godi.
Yes.
Then my presentation is on the screen. So it's just the program closure. Thank you, our program director, Dr. Godi, the chair of the Department of Finance, Risk Management and Banking. We've come to the end of the session, and I'm filled with gratitude and admiration after listening to all the presentations and also to the questions that our students had. Thank you very much for the efforts and the presentations that made this student orientation a success. Let me first start by thanking our acting Executive Dean of the College of Economic and Management Sciences, Dr. Masitsaba. Thank you very much for your warm welcome and for setting the tone for today's proceedings. Your words have inspired us to embark on the 2024 academic journey, and Program Director, we do it with enthusiasm and determination to support our students. Then I would like to thank Mr. Martin Sadiki, who presented on behalf of Professor Ledimo, the Head of Tuition and Learner Support, and Mr. Sadiki emphasized the importance of avoiding any dishonest activities, for example, the buying of exam papers, and he encouraged our students to communicate with the lecturers and to commit to only use official Unisa resources. And Dr. Godi, I really appreciated it when he ended his presentation by saying a little progress each day adds up to big results. And that is a truth that our students can carry with them, and also our co-lecturers. A special acknowledgement to the speakers and presenters who have enlightened us on aspects of academic and administrative student support services. The first presenter there was Mr. Tembo, who provided insights into the qualification offerings at KEMS, and he guided the students through the diverse academic pathways available to them. Also, thank you to Ms. Hadebe, who shed light on the critical topic of academic integrity, and she emphasized the importance of ethical conduct and scholarly honesty in our academic pursuits. Then thank you, Mr. Firi, for explaining the details of the learning management system, and you equipped us and our students with the tools necessary to navigate our virtual learning environment. Then Ms. Suret Warnig, thank you very much for your presentation. When you discussed the module support, you guided and you provided guidance on how the students can maximize their learning experiences. Then we continue to listen to Mr. Tilu and Ms. Daphne Nkosi, who presented on the KEMS integrated e-tutor model. Thank you very much for showcasing the approaches to academic support and mentoring, and for highlighting all the important factors about the tutors and e-tutors. Then with regard to the administrative student support services, Program Director, I want to thank Ms. Moila, who addressed student finances and provided information on financial management and resources available to our students. Then Ms. Mokubo and Mr. Manamela, who discussed student funding opportunities and also who guided our students through financial aid options and the application processes. Then Mr. Machila highlighted the role of the library as a virtual resource hub for academic research and for our student studies. Still on the administrative student support services, Dr. Ntuli elaborated on the regional services, and she emphasized the accessibility of support structures that are tailored to our students across the different regions, and she showed where the regions are. Thank you very much for that, Dr. Ntuli. Then Ms. Moraka from Archsuite. Thank you very much for your presentation. You provided insights into the resources and support available for students with disabilities, ensuring accessibility. Then thank you very much, Ms. Matlangu, for being available and for facilitating and raising and addressing our student queries. Program Director, as we conclude this orientation program, I urge all our students to actively engage with their primary lecturers. The details are on the tutorial letter 101s, also available on the My Unisa websites. And also, I encourage the students to fully use the student support services provided by the college. I wish every student the very best for their assignments, for completing their continuous assessments. As Dr. Masitsaba highlighted in her welcoming words, don't underestimate the importance of each and every continuous assessment that will contribute to your year mark, and also the very best for your exam preparations. May your journey in 2024 be filled with growth, learning and success. Program Director, once again, thank you to everyone who has contributed to the success of this orientation program. Thank you, Chair. That is all from my side.
Thank you so much, Prof, for a detailed summary. We really appreciate that. Beautiful presentations with the slides, and we appreciate that effort. Colleagues, we've come to the end of today's session, and from my side, I just want to take this opportunity to also just thank Ms. Murabi, my co-pilot behind the scenes, for the sterling job that she's done today, and we wish you nothing but the best in 2024. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.